St. Patrick's Day being so close, we thought why not have Adam Goldstein and Avourneen come back on, so please welcome Avourneen. Hello guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So St. Patrick's Day is Friday.
Yes.
Have you guys been busy?
Yes, our craziness started at the beginning of the month actually. We played in the Botanic Gardens at the beginning of March.
Very nice.
Which was a beautiful setting, but in terms of acoustics, it's kind of like playing in a swimming pool. Right?
Were you outside or were you inside that greenhouse
We were
area?
inside the greenhouse,
Gotcha.
which the acoustics, I mean, it's got the glass ceilings and the concrete walls, and
A little humid too, isn't
it's
it?
really damp. Yeah.
Yeah, our instruments were not having a fun time. They were
No.
all detuning and stuff. But there was a nice fern.
Yeah, we played directly for a fern, and I think the fern liked it.
Captive audience.
Yes. Well, the audience actually was great. It was like they were open for the evening, and usually that path through the greenhouse isn't open at night, so it was lit up, and it was gorgeous. You couldn't ask for a
Yeah.
better
A little
set.
conservatory area. It was, oh yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. So
Nice.
you kind of take what you can get. So the scenery was amazing.
Adam saw a cockroach.
I did.
At the
It looked
Botanic
like
Gardens?
a Jurassic Park cockroach.
Was this one of their pets or was
I
this
think
just
they just have creatures that thrive
Just
on
that
the
thrive,
humidity
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's like a tropical jungle
Yeah.
in there,
Right.
and it's
Yeah.
maintained that way. But either they've introduced the animals, or the animals have just flew in from Costa Rica to for the air out here.
So when you're not playing to ferns and cockroaches, where else do you play around Denver?
So the positive aspect of being Irish folk band is that we kind of have a built-in
Niche,
dynamic
yeah.
with
Niche, yeah.
niche, exactly, at Irish pubs. And
Nice.
so we've crisscrossed the state playing at different pubs. We've probably hit at least one pub in every single major city.
Oh,
in the
wow.
metro area.
Yeah,
Neat.
the major ones.
Yeah.
Do you have a
Those
favorite?
ones.
Well, Eric, it's
Not, we can't say
unique.
that on air.
I know, right?
Yeah, I know. We love them all.
We love them all equally.
And we love all of the ones that have us in to play for them. But there are emotional connections. Like Eric grew up in Colorado Springs, and we played at Jack Quinn's.
Yeah. So Jack Quinn's is where I learned to play my
Oh.
instrument. Basically, they have a session there on Sundays, and that's where I learned all my stuff. And so I have a connection to that. There's some emotional value there.
Nice.
Right, and this weekend, St. Patrick's Day weekend, we're playing at the She Bean in Aurora, which is up the street from where I grew up. So I never really thought of Aurora as having a really strong Irish bar culture, but the She Bean is the oldest one in the metro area after Duffy's closed
Oh, wow.
about 10 years ago. So you get to kind of explore your roots doing what we do sometimes, which is
We also play a lot of contra dances, which is like a Celtic-themed square dance. Grew up in New England.
Let's go.
you guys would love it. It's really fun. Yeah.
I think we should go. We
Do
can
you
learn.
square dance?
I can learn.
Oh, it's real easy. It's a community dance, so it's a social dance. It's very beginner friendly.
Oh, fun. Very
But
fun.
it's a good workout too. I mean, we started playing contra dances about 2 years ago, and it wasn't until about 3 months ago that I finally tried dancing for the first time. And Eric is an expert, man. Like he showed me the steps. He showed me how to spin correctly, and it's a workout. I mean, it's simple. It's easy to learn, but by the end of it, you've gotten some good cardio in there because you're crossing the room and going with different partners and learning all the different moves. So
Nice.
yeah.
And when you guys aren't playing, you have other jobs as well.
Yeah.
So what do you guys do to fill in that time?
So I actually work for Cherry Creek Schools. I'm a digital communication specialist, which is a fancy word for a writer, and I do a lot of the online communications. And I know we've talked about this before, but a lot of those skills I learned right here at Metro, working for the Metropolitan.
We always have to bring that up.
Yeah.
The features editor.
That's
for
right.
Metropolitan, and the cartoonist.
And the cartoon, that's how we got started, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, whenever we're on a gig, if you scribble on a napkin, he can turn it into you just scribble and then he'll turn it into a doodle for you. It's really nice.
That's
My
how we
favorite
pass
game
the
to play.
time.
Very nice.
And so I do that during the day. It's a great job. I love doing it, and this is a nice compliment as well.
Very awesome.
Yeah.
And you're going to perform for us.
Yes.
So talk about the songs that you're going to perform.
Well, the first one Eric is singing, it's called Sam Hall.
That's right. It's about a criminal that an unrepentant criminal that goes and he gets killed, and then he ends his life saying, "Damn you all, damn your eyes."
So it's a love song.
Yeah, pretty much.
An Irish love song.
It's like our relationship.
Damn you.
Well, it's like the topics of Irish folk music are usually either about alcohol, really sad love songs where somebody dies,
Okay.
or boats. So this is kind of a very this falls outside the
or
normal
boats.
boundaries. Yeah, it's about and it's a song that goes back. I mean, Johnny Cash has done it. It's one of those songs that kind of got adopted into the Irish folk tradition, but it has roots in America. So yeah, it's cool.
So
That's a
did you?
universal message.
I mean, what drew you to this type of music? It's very specific. It's got it's.
Like you said, a niche, right?
And, yeah, exactly.
For me, I grew up listening to folk music, American folk music, Bob Dylan. I really loved Bob Dylan. I still love Bob Dylan. They make fun of me because I listen to a lot of Bob Dylan.
Too much.
Too much.
Too much.
And even some prog rock stuff like Frank Zappa. And I discovered Irish music when I was about 18, graduating from high school. And it was just resonant with me from the very, very beginning. Something about the message, and we joke about the subject matter being about boats and things that you don't get in Colorado that often. But there's some universals in terms of the spirit behind a lot of these songs is defiant and heartfelt and sentimental all at the same time. Because these songs come from a tradition of, a lot of them are about political subjects. And the English landed in Ireland in the 1600s, and for hundreds of years, their main form of protest was through music and through culture. And you got a lot of that spirit still. And it's genuine in a time where media is coming at you faster than you can process it. It helps me feel rooted, and it helps me feel like there are some things that don't change despite the technology and despite the changing eras.
Yeah, well, and the other thing about Irish music or the Irish culture that is expressed through the music is that they have a really unique connection to their spirituality. The ancient pagan Celts and the Druids and stuff are still a huge part of that. Leprechauns are directly from the pagan tradition. So they have a lot of this nature connection, stuff like that, a lot of the old pagan stuff that really matters to them, mixed with a really complicated relationship with Christianity and Catholicism, and like the Catholics and the Protestants and that infighting, and then, but we all come from the Druids and the Celts. So it's a really interesting interplay of mysticism and Catholicism, and a lot of that, like you said, defiant nature and some of that cynical relationship with Jesus come through in a lot of the songs too.
And also, just as musicians, man, I will say that some of the best players I've ever heard are Irish folk players. With C, the other member who isn't here today, we went to Ireland about 2 years ago. And I've been playing guitar since I was 13, and some of the best guitar players I've ever seen were in these little tiny pubs in the countryside with an audience of no more than 10 or 15 people. And the things they can do with the instruments, you don't hear that kind of playing elsewhere in Western music, I think. And Eric is a jazz player. He's an amazing saxophone player, and so he has rubbed elbows with the most technical, most accomplished melody players around, and he is one of those as well. And I don't know if it goes for you too, just like the quality of the musicianship is just...
Yeah, well, it's really different, because, in Irish music, you almost, especially for the instrumental stuff, pretty much you just play the melody over and over and over and over again. And so the little turns you do are all very subtle. Any differences or any flourishes you make are all very concise and very subtle. Whereas in jazz, you'll base your improvisations around the melody, but you can go off on all sorts of tangents. And Irish music is less like that.
Well, wonderful. Thank you so much for coming,
Yeah,
and we're
thank you,
excited
guys.
to get to hear some of this
Thank
today.
you for having us.